Welcome to week 6 office hours. I apologize for rescheduling. We had a minor surgery. Well, for my wife, it was major surgery, so she says carpal tunnel, so she's fine. Actually, I would have made it. So I apologize. I know everyone's busy and it's easy to have a set schedule. Anyway, let's go right to the poll questions. That's your cue, Michael, to bring up the poll. That isn't the poll question. That's last week's poll question, Michael.
Oh, that's the poll questions I have.
We'll go to the next one. These are from last week.
Uh-oh. Is that from last week too?
Yeah, okay. I apologize. We will not have polls this week, Michael. And I will discuss his performance review momentarily. Let's talk about week 6. Spent a lot of time on collateral. The 3 simple numbers: real estate's 85%, new equipment's 75%, used equipment's 50%. You could tweak the used equipment though to get the full book value. Send in an auctioneer. SOP is agnostic on exactly how do you value those fixed assets. Yeah, you can. Because you're not going to. If you're going to have a valuation for dry cleaning equipment, you want an expert in those dry cleaning equipment. You're not going to go a run-of-the-mill business appraiser who doesn't know what that's worth. They'll tell you what the business is worth, but they can't tell you what that equipment's worth. So get an expert. I would personally get the person who I'm going to hire to auction it off. Give me a letter. I would feel comfortable with that, and I would put that in my credit memorandum. We went with Sam's auction, and Sam says he can sell this for X amount of dollars. And you're not going to be criticized for that. Spent some time on borrower documentation, and we will talk about loan structure. I hope you're enjoying all the reading assignments. The Inspector General things should make you lose some sleep in terms of what they're looking at. And a very simple homework assignment for this week. Calculate the collateral coverage, either Franklin Brothers or Gray's. And obviously, when we do one of the poll questions I had was, would you approve the Franklin Brothers loans as structured? In others, would you give them the $2 million for real estate? And you can justify doing that, but I think a more prudent lender would go, no, we need to solve all these other cash flow issues rather than simply finance the real estate. And that's the complexity of the case. All right, I'm going to cross my fingers and see what the email questions look like. Hey, very good. All right, Michael, Michael may be here next week. We'll find out how he finishes up. I'm a PLP lender, and I'm going to close and I'm going to clear the 912 because the misdemeanor was more than 10 years old and that. Now, this is a great question. Do we accept the applicant's representations, or do we need to go further? Do we need to go ahead and do the full background check? Do we need to get the fingerprints? And that's your call. If you feel there's an issue, then do it. Again, and don't let someone browbeat you to say, well, the SOP says this. Because, yeah, that's what the SOP says is. But Bank of Bob, and I'm the underwriter for Bank of Bob, no. I want to know more what's happening. Probably the best answer is, what would you do on a conventional loan? If you're not going to do it on a conventional loan, then you don't need to do it on an SBA loan. And I understand the concern that you have, and you could stand a risk of the Inspector General said, he defrauded you. He's ineligible because he doesn't have good enough character. If that's the only hiccup, I think you're going to be okay. Usually when they do that, there's a lot of other issues. If someone's lying about that, then we have bad tax returns and we have fake equity injections, and they'll throw this in. But you get to use your best judgment. And if my thing is sometimes if you have to ask the question, if there's a reason why you're asking the question and your intuition, your experience is asking, then the answer could be yes. Perhaps a middle ground is to pick up the phone, call your local SBA district office, talk to the counsel, your local general counsel at the local office, And what they will tell you is, what's the SOP say? Well, the SOP says this, and they say they need to be fine. So it's your call. Great question. I love the question. Thank you very much. Let's talk about week 7. Oh, any more email questions? Let me see. Now I'm sort of nervous of what's coming up here. All right.
We have polls.
You have polls.
I have polls.
Well, let's do the polls. And then we'll talk about week 7. Michael's trying to retain his job here. Oh, very good. I've already given this to you. But would anybody out there just approve a real estate loan? That's really what this question is. Would you just approve the real estate loan for $2 million? Now, Michael, do we have answers to the poll questions? Whoa, look at that. We're moving on. I have no issue with the person who says yes. With the respondents who say yes. I have no problem with that. Complex case. Obviously, you're comfortable with the collateral. We're well within our 85%. We have a $200,000, $250,000, we have a $2 million loan on a $2.5 million property. Cash flow is there. We still may want to take the house, but we don't want to give him more money. I don't have a problem with that. Question number 2. Franklin Brothers may lease up to 49% of their new building and still be eligible for SBA financing. True or false? True. Speaking to the choir. Next question. If Franklin Brothers builds the new roof and they put the whole roof over the building, can they still lease 49% of the building? The reason why I asked the question is loan proceeds cannot be used for the benefit of the tenant. So how would you handle this? This is a gray area. Yeah, I would say yes. You can't put on half a roof. So this is where you have to be the adult in the room and make a determination of what is prudent and what is not. A roof we need. We need to have the entire building painted. Now, if we're building out TI, remember we have the $100,000 construction for TI. No, none of that can be for the benefit of the 49%. SBA doesn't care if that's a four walls and nothing in the middle. So that's the purpose of those questions, is to make you think about that. Last poll question. What is it? 180 days from the loan application, from the lender approval, from the loan application, from the borrower, or from 90 days? What is it? What's the cutoff? Better question should have been for year end. Do I need those year-end financials March 31st, or do I need them by June 30th? And is it from data application or data submission? It's actually 180 days from lender approval. Lender approval. It used to be 90 days. It's lender approval. I did a poor job on explaining that, so that's why the polls are keeping me honest. It's 180 days from the date the POP lender signs off on it, or the date that is. Now, I believe on GP, I'm going to get back to you. GP may be, let me get back to you, GP. I know that POP is the date that they sign it. Okay. Week 7, you're going to enjoy week 7. I shook it up a little bit for the environmental reports and business valuations. I'm not reading off the SOP. I brought in experts to help you manage that part of the process. I'm very pleased with how those came out. We will do a finalized loan structure for both Franklin Brothers and Gray's. Week 8, we do some more technical stuff. Week 9 and 10, we finalize the loan, how the loan's going to look for Gray's and for Franklin Brothers. Talk about insurance. And I wrote a nice little article about that several years ago of all the items that you need. And we're talking about, non-citizens. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say, right? When you have that situation, read the SOP. I could probably do that in 30 seconds because the rules change. They're complicated. And when you have that, you're going to take a look at the card and you're going to go to the SOP. Anyway, Homework assignment. I apologize. I don't have it figured out what I'm going to do yet. We got to still do some filming this afternoon. So, but we'll get it all uploaded. Michael will have it Monday afternoon.
Absolutely.
He'll have it. Enjoy the weekend. I appreciate your comments. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you next Friday.